Who am I here with?
My name is Adolph.
You said Adolph?
Yeah, Adolph.
How
Like
you spell
Young
that?
Dolph. You know how Young Dolph's name was Adolph?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my name, Adolph.
So it's A-D-O-L.
Adolph.
Okay, gotcha. So Adolph, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm living life. You live life every day. I think in terms of how am I doing, I don't know. It's just another day for me, another night.
So Adolph, how old are you, man?
Me, I'm 28 years old. My date of birth is 7/8/97.
Okay, man. You still young.
Lightweight. I'll turn 30 in like 2 years.
Yeah. So Adolph, you you currently homeless, man?
Yeah, I'm currently homeless.
Gotcha. And how'd that come to?
I've been off and on homeless in and out the correctional institution facility for the last 5 years of my life. I used to be a college student. I was studying fire science and fire technology. I originally wanted to be search and rescue for heli medevac remote locations.
Yeah.
I went to college for like 3.5 years, and I was with my baby mom, and it was just a horrible relationship. So before it got worse, and I ended up in jail for serious domestic violence issues, I ended up going homeless, and then I just started my cycle of county jail from there.
Damn, man. And stuff. So since that transpired in your life, what's been the hardest part to get back on track? What's stopping you from getting it together?
Man, I think it's an internal battle within myself. I look at terms of I can motivate myself regardless of anything, but I know that regardless of what I motivate myself for, I can simply just do. I don't need to know why or how. I know that by God's good grace, eventually I'll get through it regardless. So I believe in terms of sheer willpower is one. You gotta want for it. If you don't want for it, you never will. So a lot of people talk in terms like I'm willing and ready, or I'll give it a chance that even if I fail, I'm still willing to try again. Some people just put their own self on pause in life and lose track of time per se.
Yeah, hey, that's deep, man. That's deep. And how long you been homeless for again?
Off and on, honestly, I started experiencing homelessness when I was 12. I come from the foster care system. My dad died when I was 2 years old, and my mom's schizophrenic. So my grandpa got custody, but he was a train driver. He worked for Union Railroad, Santa Fe Pacific. When he died like 2018, 2019. And after he passed, I never felt like I had a home. I could go places, but I didn't feel how I felt being a little kid with my grandpa. And that's the only idol I had in life, as a role model figure for actually telling me, son, go do this, now listen to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't play sports, or I didn't talk to counselors or therapists or none of that. So every time somebody tried to refer to me as a child or call me son or try to little bro me, I have family issues because I come from foster care. I don't know what it's like to be a part of a family. And the only time I ever had that was when I grew up with my grandpa, but he was so busy on the railroad, I never really got the true time to spend with him. By the time you knew it, I was 18 in college, out the house, living my life.
Gotcha, man. Growing up and stuff in that certain predicament, how would you say that has affected your life up until now? Would you say that's the cause of why you're at where you're at right now?
In a sense, if you get to the deep-seated root of the issue, and you play out every predicament in your own personal situations, are you gonna tell yourself, man, that happened 20 years ago, why would I worry about it now? Or are you gonna tell yourself, I re-brought up all the past trauma, trying to deal with something I didn't even know was so deep-seated, it took me back to my childhood. You get me? So some things may seem like 5 years or 10 years, or it may seem like 7 years. For somebody who's 30, 14 years of life is a long time. You know what I mean? So for somebody to go back and play out their life events and be like, well, man, this really ultimately comes from this main rooted issue, you tend to learn I I experienced my trauma twice now. And every time I do this, I re-experience my trauma. And it's no matter how many times you face things in life and feel like you done got over them, I tell you, eventually you'll think about your own personal problems on your time and they'll get to you. I tell people all the time, man, just have the best day you could possibly have. Don't let past issues affect you. Don't let the present stop you, and let your future be for you.
Gotcha, man. So Adolph, you know, with all that being said, has there any steps you've taken, like currently as of now, to get off the streets?
Oh man, now, honestly, I really just became homeless 4 days ago. Like, but mind you, I do know the basic things in life. Like, I understand how to get a state ID. I understand how to apply for housing. I understand how to look for programs, whether government supplemented or private or not. I think a lot of it is in terms of like, I'm in a wow shock factor in a state of mind that being homeless to me and having it had occurred multiple times in my life ain't a problem. My problems aren't being homeless. My problems are, why did I become homeless? And it's because I'm stuck in an infinite loop of correctional facilities. And I'm not willing to really take the time out of my life to build, per se, a family or a home or a career, because I feel like I'd rather spend my time living life. I don't know, per se. A lot of people go homeless and say they have freedom, complete freedom from financial disputes. They don't gotta pay rent, they don't gotta pay electricity, they don't gotta pay for a car. And then people talk about terms of comfortability, like, man, you know you're not comfortable on the street regardless if you don't got those bills. Somebody who's willing to stay homeless but got two-wheel drive, honestly, you'll probably own $1 million home faster than somebody who try to buy $1 million home right with four-wheel, because it's a power struggle every day. You gotta pay for gas, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. Hey, you can find a little coffee shop, find you a little, you know, there's a lot of things. Basic things like getting a gym membership. I recommend a gym membership to everybody because it's an infinite shower. It's a place to hold your clothes. 24-hour fitness, homie, $9 a month. You homeless, get a gym membership. You ain't gotta worry about going to the shelter. Go straight to the gym.
Yep.
Get you a bus pass, travel on the bus, I promise you. Little things like, it's a lot of ways without EBT, no offense, because I feel like food stamps keep you in a position where you get an extra benefit and then you're getting your paycheck from work, so it seems comfortable, but then it locks you in at a minimum wage job and you can only work so many hours. They start cutting your benefits back. Now you want to start cutting your work hours back because you want the benefits still, which I completely understand. I mean, who wouldn't, especially in today's economy? But it's like, I don't believe in the 9-to-5 old model of working 72 hours in order to earn a good paycheck, where I feel like financial freedom of the youth really comes to self-education and doing it yourself these days. People go to college and they end up $500,000 in debt. Some people get online and spend a couple hours and learn about cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin. They learn about ETFs. They learn about new markets, things that are just emerging. You know, don't stay in the shock factor of my grandpa made it this way and his dad made it that way and my dad made it this way and now I got to make it this way. You know what I mean? Always feel free to explore the fact that we in a generation and age where mobile technology exists. It's a blessing, you know?
Yep.
My grandpa didn't know how to use a basic touchscreen phone his whole life. I always had to answer it for him. Grandpa, you just slide up, you just answer it.
Yeah.
Hit the green button and slide your finger.
Yep.
I promise you, all the way until his death, I answer his phone for him.
Got you, man. Pretty. So, Adolph, how are you currently doing, like mentally and emotionally right now?
Man, I think mentally I'm physically. I think physically I'm exhausted a little bit in terms of like. I press myself to the furthest extent, trying to understand inside of my own life why it is I even do it anyway. I keep telling myself, if I really truly don't care about it, why would I ponder on these questions for hours? So then it drives my stress rate up, which fucks with my mental stability only in the sense of I don't want to sleep. Like, I have a hard time sleeping. So it's like the duration of hours that I actually do get to sleep, I'll say, affect my actual mental stability of making terms and decisions and quickness. Like, I'm not too snappy per se. If you ask me something, I'll think about it for a second. I'll answer you in like a minute or two. But a conversation like this is very easy because I understand it's an interview, you know what I mean? But chilling with the homie, I promise you I'd have been like, let me think about that one real quick, bro.
Yeah.
And then I'd have chopped it up with him.
Okay, so like you would say like you're like more of like a critical thinker?
Yeah, I think necessarily in terms of per se, I critically think, but I do it in depth. I would say I meditate and do self-reflection and inner reflection, and I do constructive criticism in terms of personal gain for myself. I know I can tell myself I'm not the best and then not have a bad day over it, but I know somebody else can tell me they best, and I can tell them, hell yeah, you did that. Because I understand the difference of somebody saying this for blatant bragging right, or this is, you know, somebody giving somebody their proper identification. Like, man, some people are so amazing in life. You got people who drive society in terms of basic everyday life these days. Homie, who do we look up to? We used to look up to Albert Einstein. I remember when I was 10 or 12, I used to go to smoke shops and weed shops, homie, and they would have Albert Einstein pictures on the wall. You give me that slow age turn to Pablo Escobar, that quick age turn to, you know, different figures. They would always put Bill Gates or Elon Musk, or not Elon Musk, Stephen Hawking. And I was like, and then everything went trap cartoonish for a minute. You see Family Guy shirts or famous Stars and Stripes. And I was like, it's a trip. Like, who do we truthfully honor these days? It's mainly celebrities. You don't see free thinkers or knowledge experiencers. You don't see people in a financial stability in terms of millions outside the entertainment industry. Name one 30-year-old that's a millionaire that's not a rapper. You probably have a little bit of a hard time, to be honest with you. Name a millionaire that's not a movie singer or actress, or maybe you probably can. That's right.
You think this is like all part of like some big like scheme, you know, trying to like distract the public and stuff?
Hell yeah, look at how America ran, bro. Donald Trump, our president, that shit crazy. It's not in terms of him being a racist white man or the white man controlling the society, the minority, and the youth. I think it's more or less like the internal collapse that people truly don't see. You know what I mean? I think it go a lot deeper in terms of what we talk about, like, oh, that's a hidden agenda and they hide that in order to benefit. And it's like, well, I don't give a fuck about their benefit. What's next? You get a little deeper and then you be like, oh, okay, it's not about some world power group or level of people controlling things. It's just the basic need and want inside of the average person that drives society itself. Without people, life can't exist. So it don't matter who is president, he still have wants, he still have needs, he still have whatever it is he lives his life by. Now, let's say he's not a godly man. Let's say he don't fear God. Let's say he's not into religion. Let's say he's based strictly on business. All he knows is financial. Now, don't you think they used to say we go to holy spiritual advisors and we would talk to people, and they would have that in the White House. They would have their own spiritual advisors. I don't even think Donald Trump got one, no lie. Like, I don't never see it talked about. He don't ever mention anything about God. And then per se, I think like, do we live in a scientific world based on fantasy and fact and fiction, knowing that altering perception is very easy? Like, think about it. We go on this calendar, it's like the Georgian calendar currently, right? But China got a whole different calendar. The world in itself, when we say time lapse in Elysium or locks in places, we drive somewhere 4 hours in California and it's still almost the same time. We drive to a whole nother state, maybe a 4-hour difference. You go to the whole other side of the world, 16-hour difference. So truthfully, in terms like, are we as a civilization ever gonna progress to say we as the human race of Earth? Or we as people, as individuals? You know what I mean? A lot of people, I can't even understand what the term human means. If you look at it as, you put man, and you always gonna relate man back to a biblical sense of God, God's creation. You look at the term hue, and you're always gonna find hue is defined as color. So you gotta think, the basic root and context of how we even understand words in life and society and the way we write them perpetuate the same instances we have issues with in society on a day-to-day basis. It's kind of hard to say. Like, a lot of people will probably catch this one and be like, damn, that's legit. Like, I didn't even think about that. So then it's like, we don't want to divide ourselves based on race or equality or ethics. We don't want to base each other on income gaps or levels of prosperity. I want to see everybody make it in life. Come on now. I don't care if you're 17, 18, 19, 22, or 23. I'm not going to say he 50 and had his time, because you don't, everybody got a different story in life. Some people struggle till 40 and make it and live the rest of their time good. Some people, I seen a person honestly have a bad life till they was like 82. And then from 82, they lived to be like 98, I think, and they lived the most amazingest life. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I can't imagine struggling for 82 years, like living 10 years of just exuberant, fabulous life. I bet you that probably really felt good in their time for themselves as an individual.
Man, that's crazy when you think about it.
Yeah, it's a trip.
Do you ever like, you ever thinking stuff that like happened to you?
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I always tell myself, like, I used to always have a sense of idea that I had to beat the statistics. Coming from foster care and not having a mom or a dad, and then coming from a juvenile background of in and out of group homes and facilities, I got a couple other people, we get it, that had that stigma in life and society that we were bad, just because we was living the way we was. And it's like, for me, you never saw a 12-year-old smoke a cigarette in my time. When I was 12 years old, I promise you, nobody smoked. But it's crazy, when I got into high school at 15, everybody did. And I was like, damn, the 3-year difference, huh? Like, ain't that a trip? I was smoking cigarettes at 12 personally. But then when I got into high school, I was like, you guys smoke cigarettes? Like, nobody I ever knew smoked cigarettes. And I'd be like, when did you start? And they'd be like, oh, I started, a year ago. I'd be like, what are you? They'd be like, I'm a senior in high school. And they'd be like, when did you start? And I'd be like, I'll tell them the truth. Like, oh, fuck, I started in the 6th grade, to be honest with you.
Man.
So it's a trip that in short amounts of time, you get these major cultural changes. They made alcohol, cigarettes went up to 21. You got to be 21 to purchase tobacco, right?
I think so.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, it really depends on where you look at it in terms. Canada has provinces, they don't have states. So when you go to Canada and you're in Quebec and you go to certain provinces in Quebec, you come to learn that drinking age is 18 legal. It's all a cultural shock and diversity when you actually see like how laws ran when your people actually want to run it. You get me? When you get a group of society of young gentlemen and young women who want to make statements to say, we don't want to riot, we're not going to demonstrate, we're going to go to these voting polls, we're going to show up at city halls. You know what I mean? They looking at us like we're loud and ignorant because we go to the club and dance every Friday. But then people do it too, I promise you. And people do it too. I mean, it's no difference. A 45-year-old grown woman can enjoy a drink the same way a 20-year-old grown woman can enjoy a drink. You notice, in both of these age gaps, I said they grown.
Yep.
But we don't define somebody being a full adult to the age of 25. We say juvenile life to the age of 25. You know, some people get incarcerated as a child or a youth, and they get sentenced to YA, unfortunately, one of the worst predicaments you can go to. And it's horrible. That constitute juvenile life at the age 25. You're still considered a minor independent adult. You're an adult regardless. But you just grouped in with the age category of 25 and under. And I think that's gonna be the revolutionary change in life. Like, and it's pushed into massive amounts of media these days where you see instances like young girl at a club. You saw it with Akon. Hey, that shit was horrible, bro. I promise you, I felt bad for that one. Akon did a lot in his life as an artist, an entertainer, and an influencer. And not even only that, he did a lot as a person who modified and adapted to financial critical literacy, right, in Black America. And I fucking respected that. I said, man, you have no idea, that inspires me. That inspires me. And I've always looked at people like Gandhi, Malcolm X. I mean, I've always looked at different revolutionary figures in life and said, man, we haven't had one of those in like 40 years, 50 years.
Yeah.
Why does it take mass incidents of hatred to create inspiration for us to say like political influences are done not by this or that reason? I don't know, something give me.
Shit. I think that like when someone does like rise up, they just take them out.
It's fucked up, man. I feel like it's all controversial, and the very end of it, you could argue the fact that this is all theory, ain't none of it proven, ain't none of it true. At the end of the day, you could always say everybody plays situational roles in their own life that lead them down their roads of destiny. So, do you think 25-year-old grown men should have access to $8 million? I believe so, yeah. I don't think their age has anything to do with them being responsible with it. But who am I to say how are they to be responsible?
Yeah.
You get me? Me, honestly, I'm 28 years old. If I had access to $300 million right now, I'd be out here in a McLaren doing donuts. You get me?
Yeah.
So I myself wouldn't give myself that opportunity. I know in life, I want to wait till a certain age of understanding and wisdom, not maturity, because they define age like he lived 50 years. He was so mature for everything he went through, and it's like some people is 25 and they hit a little pebble stone, and that's the end of their own willing experience.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be willing to try. How many ever times you fail don't matter. What matters is the fact that you're willing to try one more time. You know what I mean? And giving yourself that opportunity. I used to fear failure in a sense that I feared it so much I would never try anything. Like I would never go for what I truly wanted, or I was a people pleaser. Like I got biological brothers, but we don't really know each other. We all split different paths, you know, through foster care. And I'll see my brother do good at something, and like I wouldn't want to do what he did because I wouldn't want to take away from his accomplishments. But it would be the same way. I'd be like, damn, my brother's good at football. I don't want to play football because he's good at it. I'd be like, but why don't I play a sport? Maybe I should play baseball. He played football. I could play baseball. It'd be cool. And I'd be like, nah, I'm not athletic. You give me, I'd never give myself that opportunity to even try. So I think in terms like, I say failure's only a lesson learned taught by yourself. Nobody can teach you failure. Most people think that they can teach you success by a book definition, a test, a quiz, learning a repertoire of words, or however you put it in motion. Like, in the very end, even though you succeeded, you're still gonna look at the percentages and say, I could have did better, I could have tried harder. See, it's always about you could have tried harder in the end. It's never about how good you could have done. And the 110% is cool, 150% is cool. You know, it's about your effort and willingness. Once you lose your own drive and internal in yourself, like once you start arguing with the basic understanding and fundamentals of life itself, like you be like, fuck, is it even worth it? I tell myself all the time, like, I don't judge women in life because who am I? You get me? I don't look at women and say, all women are this or all women are that. But in my lifetime, I've only ever known, right, women to be promiscuous in certain manners. Like, I'm 15 in high school, the teacher 28, but she acting like she's 19 fresh out of college.
Yeah.
You get me? And I'll be like, like, where could I really find a real woman that's a role model figure? That's what I think I always look for in terms, because I don't have a mom though. I think that's my biggest issue, is I never felt the love of a woman as a child. So it's like, I see 45-year-old grown women these days, and I'm like, damn, you acting like your 22-year-old daughter. Like, that's a trip. And if that's gonna happen, I know by the time I turn 45, I definitely ain't gonna want to be with no 72-year-old woman that's gonna act 12. The same way I'm not gonna want to be with a 32-year-old woman that acts like she's, you know, a young broad. It's to actually match the age and mentality to your wisdom and say that, oh, this is worth my time. So many people settle for less within themselves and then settle for less within their situations, and it become toxic. And then in this toxic situation you settle for in lesser amounts, right? It still has the animosity between you and whoever in it.
They be like, they be mad at themselves.
Yeah.
And they take it out either like on life or a certain individual.
I can never put myself in that situation and say, why would I do that with my partner? You get me? Why am I gonna argue with a partner that I love?
I'd rather be alone than do that to them.
Exactly.
Until I get myself together.
Yeah, on me. That's definite. Like, I tell people all the time, like, don't never be afraid to tell somebody you happy though. On me, you think you found that person, experience it.
Yeah.
Whether it's 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, whether it don't work out in 6 months. And that 6 months you may learn true and correct love. And you can always apply that to your next go around.
Yeah, man, that's deep. Yeah. So Adolph, I'm just like, you know, end it off with this.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What's a piece of advice that, like, you know, you can give to me or, you know, give to society as a whole?
Man, I say a piece of advice. I really don't like to give advice because I take this quote too from a song called Oh Wonder. It's by Oh Wonder. I think the song's called All We Do. And they say it's hard for me to give advice to somebody because I'm not perfect myself. Like, and I feel that one because we search for perfection But if perfection truly exists, we already live it. Look at life.
Mm-hmm.
Look at life. However it happened, the Big Bang, the scientific. Look at life. Life is perfection. Now your life becomes perfection when you make it. You can't take your problems out on life and then hate your life for life itself. It wouldn't make no sense.
Mm-hmm.
That means you would hate the ground you literally walk on.
Yeah.
And you can't hate yourself. So I tell everybody that not to self-loathe. Always know that people make mistakes regardless. That forgiving and forgetting, but never remembering and also moving forward. Like, I never forget that time they hurt me. And I tell them, hey, let that go. Let that go, I promise you. Some people go through the minor events in life and spend the rest of their life hurt about it. I hate to see somebody go through a breakup from 40 years ago and then be determined like to hurt that person 40 years later.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, it's wild. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I just tell people smile and live life. Life's a beautiful experience. Enjoy it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. It was nice meeting you.
Thank you, Adolph.
Yes, sir.